皆様おはようございます。大丈夫かな。ありがとうございます。本日は朝早い中、お忙しい中、ご参加いただきましてありがとうございます。こちらはJ-StarX の US ヘルスケアブレイクスループログラムの説明会になっております。本日ご参加いただけない方に向けて、後日ウェブページにこちらの説明会の録画をアップロードさせていただくために録画をしております。本日司会を務めますジェトロスタートアップ課の近藤と申します。こちらのプログラムを担当しております。本日の流れといたしましては、まずはじめに私の方からプログラムの概要と、あと資料の提出の部分など細かい事務的な部分をお話しさせていただきまして、でプログラムの詳細につきましては、本日名誉クリニックプラットフォームからジェイミーが参加していただいておりますので、ジェイミーからプログラム詳細をお話しいただく予定です。で、最後、キッカーベンチャーズ清峰さんもご参加いただいておりますので、メンタリングのセッションの部分だったりとか、その他キッカーベンチャーズさんからのサポートっていう部分もお話しいただく予定です。では皆さんもちょっと徐々に揃ってきたかなと思いますので、早速、説明会を開始させていただきます。最初の私の説明の部分は日本語になるんですけれども、ジェイミーからの説明は英語になりますので、よろしくお願いします。So now I'd like to start the session and I will explain briefly explain the program. それでは画面を一度シェアさせていただきます。今画面映っておりますかね。ありがとうございます。何かご質問などございましたら、随時Q&A のチャットに入れていただければと思います。後ほど回答させていただきます。まずはじめにファンデーショナルコースについてお話をさせていただきます。この US ヘルスケアブレイクスルーはファンデーショナルコースとビジネスデベロップメントコースの2つありますが、まずはこちらのファンデーショナルコースからお話をさせていただきます。こちらのコースは、米国のヘルスケア市場の参入に向けて、基本的な部分、知識の習得だったりとか、ネットワークを形成していただきたり、あとビジネスの戦略策定を行っていただくというようなことを目的にしているプログラムになっております。で、具体的な部分で申し上げますと、米国のヘルスケアシステムに関しての理解を深めていただいたりですとか、あと現地エコシステムの関係者とのコネクション形成というところで、実際にプログラムとしては米国のミネソタ州に渡航していただく予定です。で、対象企業さんとしては、日本に活動拠点のある日系ヘルステックスタートアップっていうところになっておりまして、分野はデジタルヘルスだったりとか、あとメドテック、ヘルステックっていうのは割と幅広く対象とさせていただいています。で、プログラムの構成っていうところなんですけれども、事前に国内プログラムがありまして、現地プログラムというような流れになっています。で、座学というか、オンラインでレクチャーを受けていただいた後に並行して、メンタリングもお受けいただきながら戦略策定をしていただくというような流れになります。ちょっとこのあたりの詳細は後ほどジェイミーからもお話があるかと思いますので、現時点でこれくらいにさせていただきます。で、こちらのファンデーショナルプログラムの定員は最大10社というところになっておりまして、日程のところで申し上げますと、7月下旬頃から10月、こちら初旬で書いてるんですけど、下旬までというような形になっています。で、ちょっと概要のところ、ウィーク1から10っていうところになっているんですけれども、これまとまった10週間っていうよりは、この現地渡航のウィーク10としている現地のミネソタ渡航に向けて準備をしていくっていうところで、まとまった10週間というよりは、随時7月下旬からその名誉の渡航にかけて、さまざまな州でプログラムが実施されるというような形になっています。なので、総合ではこの10週間分のレクチャーをお受けいただくことができるんですけれども、実際の10週間というよりは、その7月下旬から10月下旬の間でレクチャーがちょこちょこ入るというようなイメージになっています。で、このあたりですね、後ほどお話しいただくジェイミーをはじめとして様々なメンバーの方にサポートいただくようなプログラムになっています。で、名誉クリニックプラットフォームからもたくさん関与いただいておりますし、名誉クリニックバーグイノベーションエクスチェンジというところも、名誉クリニックのドクターとの面談レンジなどをしていただいています。 で、メンターとしてキッカーベンチャーズさんにも入っていただいておりますので、こちらも後ほど詳細はお話しいただければと思います。で、こちらが全体スケジュールになっているんですけれども、現在、プログラム参加者の方を募集しておりまして、6月1日が締め切りになっております。で、結果通知を一応6月下旬と予定しておりまして、プログラムのキックオフ、プログラム開始が7月下旬を予定しています。7月下旬から9月にかけて、オンラインレクチャーをお受けいただいて、10月下旬、今のところは最終週を予定しているんですけれども、現地ミネソタの現地渡航プログラムを予定しています。で、現在、こちらは調整しているんですけれども、こちらの現地渡航、ミネソタの渡航の際に合わせて、名誉クリニックアリゾナもございますので、そちらで臨床医の先生とのマッチングだったりとか、そういう交流できるようなイベントを調整しておりますので、こちらも合わせてご活用いただけるようになるかなと思います。こちらも後ほど説明があるかと思います。そうですね、対象は先ほどお伝えした通りになるんですけれども、参加要件として、海外展開における意思決定が可能な方が参加いただけるっていうことでしたりとか、あと明確なプロダクトがあることなども要件となっておりますので、こちらもご応募の際はぜひご確認いただけると幸いです。で、費用負担の部分なんですけれども、プログラムの受講料というか、メンタリングを含めてプログラムをお受けいただく料金、費用はJETROが負担させていただくんですけれども、その他、渡航にかかる部分、航空券ですとか、宿泊費、現地でかかる費用というのは、参加者の皆さんの負担になっております。で、こちらが選考プロセスというところになっているんですけれども、現在参加者を募集して6月1日が締め切りになっているんですが、その後書類選考で、場合によっては面接ありというような形になっておりまして、で、6月下旬に皆様に通知をさせていただいて、7月下旬からファンデーショナルプログラムが最大10社様に向けて実施されるというような流れになっています。で、こちらはちょっと応募前にどういうプログラムに参加したらいいかなとか、もしちょっと悩んでるという方がいらっしゃったら、ぜひJETROの担当者にご相談いただければと思います。で、応募方法なんですけれども、少しちょっと複雑になっているのでご注意いただきたいと思います。まずステップ1として、JETROの応募フォームがございますので、そちらに企業名だったりとか情報を申し込んでいただけたらと思います。で、そのお申し込みいただいた後に名誉クリニックさんの方での別途応募フォームがございまして、そちらのリンクが送られるようになりますので、こちらもご応募お願いします。で、それと合わせて英語のピッチ資料のご提出もお願いしております。で、こちらもろもろ含めて6月1日の13時、日本時間13時が締め切りになっておりまして、どれか1つでもちょっと欠けているとなんか不備になってしまうので、こちら3つ必ずご提出をお願いいたします。すみません。今の以上がファンデーショナルプログラムの方になっておりまして、もう一つビジネスデベロップメントコースも説明させていただきます。先ほど説明させていただいたファンデーショナルコースがその米国市場参入に向けた知識の習得だったりとかネットワーク形成というところを目的にしていたんですけれども、こちらのビジネスデベロップメントコースは、実際の米国市場参入と商業化の戦略というところでもう実際にご自身のビジネスを加速させるようなプログラムというような形になっています。なので、具体的には薬事だったりとか、ビジネスモデルなどの戦略立案、またマイルストーンの作成と実行っていうことだったり、よりなんか具体的なことを検討いただけるようなプログラムになっています。で、こちらも対象企業としては、日本に拠点のある日系のヘルステックスタートアップさんというところになっておりまして、分野もデジタルヘルス、メドテック、ヘルステック分野となっています。で、先ほどのファンデーショナルプログラムがオンラインレクチャーがあってメンタリングがあってっていうような形で最大10社様に向けてコホートとしてのプログラムだったんですけれども、こちらは戦略策定だったりとかマイルストーンの作成というところで各企業さんによって参加者によってかなり異なるかなというふうに思っておりますので、こちらは個別の支援になっています。なのでコホートとしてレクチャーをお受けいただくというよりは本当に 各社様でご相談いただけるようなプログラムになっています。で、事前にオンラインで個別の支援があった後に、実際に専門家のサポートだったりとか、あとこちらは現地渡航も企業さんのニーズというか、ご自身のタイミングで行っていただけるような形になっておりますので、すいません、ちょっと画面が見えにくかったかもしれないです。少々お待ちください。これで大丈夫ですか？すいません、ありがとうございます。こちらもコホートとしての現地渡航というより個別の渡航というふうになっておりますので、どういう目的でどういう人に会うか、いつ行くか、何かイベントに合わせて渡航するので、こちらも参加者、個社さんによってカスタマイズしていただけるようなコースになっています。で、このあたりもちょっと詳細は後ほどジェイミーからお話しいただく予定なんですが、ビジネスデベロップメントコースは個社支援というところで、最大5社さんを定員とさせていただいています。で、プログラムのキックオフというか、開始時期は、ファンデーショナルコースと同じ頃の7月下旬を予定しておりまして、来年の3月初旬までというところで32週間の長めのプログラムになっているんですけれども、こちらの期間を使って、ご自身の戦略策定と、実際のビジネスの拡大というところをやっていただく予定になっています。で、このあたりは後ほどまた詳細がお話しいただける予定なんですけれども、ご相談いただく内容というところも、個社さんによって求めるものが違うかと思いますので、こちらも相談内容は個別にお選びいただけるような形になっています。このあたりは先ほどと重なっているので、ちょっと省略させていただきますが、そうですね。スケジュール感もお伝えした通り7月下旬のスタートというような形になっておりまして、こちらも要件など募集要項に記載がありますので、ぜひご確認の上ご応募いただければと思います。費用負担の部分もファンデーショナルコースと同じく、こちらのプログラム参加料のみJETROが負担させていただきますので、その他にかかる費用、航空券、現地の宿泊費などはご自身での負担になっております。で、こちらも選考プロセスがございまして、6月1日まで参加者募集をしておりまして、その後、書類選考があって、で、面接があって、プログラム参加いただける5社さんが確定するというような形になっております。で、こちらの面談の日程などは、後日別途連絡させていただくような形になっております。こちらも先ほどと同じように、ちょっとどのコース参加するか悩んでるってことがございましたら、ぜひ、JETROまでご相談いただければと思います。こちらもご提出いただく内容は先ほどお伝えしたファンデーショナルコースと同じになっておりますので、必ず6月1日の13時までにこちらの3つの項目ご提出をお願いいたします。はい、ちょっと駆け足になってしまったんですが、一旦私からの全体の概要というところは以上とさせていただきまして、今からちょっとプログラムの詳細というところで、名誉クリニックプラットフォームのジェイミーからお話をいただければと思います。はい、Jamie, I'd like to hand it over to you regarding the detail of the program.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. We will see if the magic slides work. There we go.
Yeah, perfect.
I think it's good.
Yeah,
Great. So welcome everyone. I could do a quick introduction of myself first. So my name is Jamie Sunsbach. I am the director of Mayo Clinic Platform Accelerate, which is a part or a division of Mayo Clinic Platform here at Mayo Clinic. We have been around for about 4.5 years, serving primarily startup companies, but now are continuing to grow into a deeper relationship with more advanced companies as well. And I'm just really honored to be here. This is the third year that we've collaborated with JETRO, and I've just been very, very impressed by the companies that are starting in Japan and are now thinking about how they grow internationally. And we're just so happy that Mayo can help facilitate some of that growth, especially into the United States, and just really honored and excited to be here today. But I also am here representing a couple of other groups. First, the Mayo-Berg Innovation Exchange, which is a critical component to what we do, and of course, our great partners at Kicker Ventures. So I won't do a lot of background on Mayo Clinic. If you enter our programs, you're going to learn a lot about Mayo Clinic, but we are consistently ranked the #1 healthcare organization in the world. We see patients from all 50 states in the United States, as well as 135 countries around the world that come to visit us and receive care from us around the world. We have, I think, undergone a dramatic transformation in the last 6 years. The focus primarily has been on how can we continue to scale to provide great care for patients around the world. And Mayo Clinic platform was a way that we choose to do that. And so we've already reached 53 million people through Mayo Clinic platform in just the last 6 years. We also are very forward-looking internally. We have fully adopted AI technologies, and so now we have over 320 AI algorithms already in our practice. So I think it's definitely, we're helping to facilitate kind of the future of healthcare, and it's great collaborations like this with JETRO that I think allows us to continue that work. So this is all part of what we call our bold forward vision at Mayo Clinic, which is really to redefine how we cure, connect, and transform healthcare around the world. So our platform sits between kind of two markets. One market is what we call our solution developers. That's companies just like you. And what we've been able to do is create a series of programs like this that are more focused on education and connection into the US market. We also have programs that are focused on access to Mayo's de-identified healthcare information to allow you to train, enhance, or validate AI models. That's another program that we run. And then we are moving towards an evolution of our startup accelerator into a developer program, which will serve even more mature companies in the coming years. So it's a very big, bold initiative that we're doing. So we want to enable solution developers to, prepare their products and services for the US, but we also want to help them grow while they're in the US with our various programs. On the other side of our market are healthcare providers. So we maintain a relationship with over 60 healthcare providers around the world. These can be very, very small health systems to quite large health systems. And they're all asking for basically the same thing. They're seeing the revolution in AI, digital health. They want to see the best products and services out there, but they don't have the money or the time to go out and find those solutions themselves. So they turn to Mayo Clinic to help them really uncover, the amazing solutions that are on the horizon that they may want to adopt in their own healthcare institutions. And then at the bottom of this is our data network partners. So we've de-identified Mayo's entire clinical record. Now we're working with partners around the world to help them de-identify their clinical record and make their data available to solution developers around the world as well. So it's really exciting because we're not only accessing rich de-identified data from around the world, we're accessing talent and experts, some of the best experts in medicine around the world as well. And as we talk about the two programs that we've co-developed here with the team, I think you'll see that potentially there'll be opportunities to interact with these experts around the world. So, we've just started this over the last 4 years. We think we've seen tremendous growth. I am so proud to say that if you look at Japan, it is fairly well covered. And that was very different just a couple of years ago, but it's been through this great partnership that we've been able to enable Japanese companies to move forward. And at this point, we just did some statistics yesterday. And roughly 10% of all of our companies that have participated in our accelerator program are actually now from Japan. So we are very, very grateful to this collaboration for really driving a lot of that work. So if you're just getting started in your journey as a company, or if you've already have products in the market generating revenue, there's this sort of gravitational pull towards the United States. And the thing that I think many of you probably understand, but even people inside the United States like myself maybe don't fully understand, is how complex it can be to enter the US market. It is a very challenging market, full of regulatory complexity, with long timelines. And anybody who's in a company knows that long timelines can result in a lot of time and money wasted, which is not always in. You don't always have a lot of money or time when you're just getting your company off the ground. It's also a very fragmented landscape of who actually pays for the healthcare. So that's another important thing that it's really helpful to learn. And if your product is focused on selling into healthcare systems, it could be a very long sales cycles on the order of 12 to 18 months, and that's just very standard in the United States. And again, it's something that I think through the programs that we've developed, it will help you understand and maybe even shorten some of those timeframes. And a lot of investors, a lot of healthcare institutions may love what you've been able to create, have seen success in Japan, but they really want to see evidence based on United States data or traction you may have with company or with health systems in the United States. So those are all the big challenges of US market entry. And I think what we've created is a very thoughtful approach, which mixes kind of lecture-based education with mentorship, with access to an amazing KOL network that we've developed here at Mayo Clinic. And I think all of those will help you take your next steps in the United States. So we've created this course. And again, it's really a partnership between Mayo Clinic Platform Accelerate, the Mayoburg Innovation Exchange, Kicker Ventures, and JETRO to support you in your journey as you move to the US. As I mentioned in the beginning, this is not the first time we've done this. We've done this twice before. And we've been very, very proud of the amazing companies that we've been able to support through this program over the last couple of years. And we hope to see a third picture here very soon with many of you in the webinar right here in Rochester, Minnesota. So this just gives you, again, high level, who are the companies that we have been working with over the past 2 years. I think it's a great sampling of many different solutions that are being developed in Japan, and that we see potential benefit from having these companies join us in the US. And some of these companies have started to make their first steps into the US for sure. We also had some additional programming last year and last 2 years, and these are some of the companies that have gone through that. Most notably, Yubi, who has gone on to do a lot of great collaborative work with Mayo Clinic. So again, it's a great partnership between our Accelerate program. Well, I've talked a lot about that, so I don't need to continue to talk about that. The Berg Innovation Exchange, which is kind of the front door to doing business at Mayo Clinic. And so they are really good at connecting you to the right resources inside of Mayo Clinic. So they've been a valuable partner for us. And of course, our OG partner, Kicker Ventures, we're just so happy to have them. They bring such a unique insight and I would say a benefit to all of you that this program isn't just about what Mayo Clinic thinks, but Kicker can actually bring a lot of diverse insight and experience from experts from all over the United States to make this program even stronger. And then, of course, JETRO brings it all together and really he helps us deliver the program. And it's just been a great partnership. So this year, we're offering two different program tracks, really trying to look at how we can best serve companies at different stages of their growth. So for earlier stage companies that maybe are just getting started and they want to start to think about how they could begin to do all of the tasks that they would need to enter the US, we have our foundational track, which is 10 weeks. And then for those of you that already have products in market, have a lot of traction in Japan, revenue, maybe even some investment, we have a business development track, which is 32 weeks, which is really focused on deeper level connections in the United States to really help you move as quickly as possible to get into the US. So again, Foundational is really focused on creating understanding of the US market, and then sort of the artifact or output of your time in the program is really a go-to-market plan for how you will approach the United States as a market. I think that there's a fantastic mix again of kind of lecture-based education as well as expert mentorship and guidance from US healthcare and venture experts. And I think it gives you something that I can't say enough about, and many companies as they come to the US don't understand how important this is. It gives you very early connections into the US market. And I think that that's kind of the real benefit of this program is you start to have those conversations with healthcare systems, with experts and regulatory and other disciplines now before you enter the US, so that when you're ready to come to the US, you've already got that network and those connections. The business development side, again, is really focused on more mature companies. This is more about going very deeply into what are your next steps to be successful. So we will work with you to kind of understand where you're at right now and what do you define your success to be in the next year or two. And what we're going to do is spend time helping you find experts that will help you, move that even quicker. That's really the goal. And then we want to see as an output, did you get an investment? Did you start to, have conversations with Mayo? Did you engage a regulatory expert and begin the process of moving your solution through the FDA in the United States? Those are all, I think, viable outcomes that this program can help you with. So we've covered a lot of this, but this is kind of more of a deeper dive or breakdown into the foundational program. So, I keep putting plus here because one thing I know about what we do, I think everybody who's part of the team is really aligned that, we'll do what we can to do as much as we can for you to be successful. So we have at least 12 interactive seminars and group coaching sessions, 4 one-on-one mentoring sessions, 3 high-value business introductions. That's, I think, the kind of highlight of the foundational program. The program will run between July and October of 2026. I think it was already previously explained that the program is 10 weeks. That's a lot longer than 10 weeks, but we do have some times built in where there are holidays and issues that come up in the US, but also in Japan. We want to make sure that we honor those holidays, but also it gives you time to do more work and prepare for the kind of final outcome of this program, which is joining us here in Rochester, Minnesota, for a few days so that you can really meet a lot of our Mayo Clinic colleagues face-to-face and have some, very important discussions and learn from our entrepreneurial ecosystem here in Minnesota as well. So you'll have an opportunity to meet a lot of those people. And again, build that network that you're going to need once you come to the United States. Something that has been added on this year, which we're really excited about, is the opportunity to spend a day or two in our Mayo campus in Arizona as well. And thanks to JETRO for helping to facilitate that. And we're super excited that after you spend time with us here in Minnesota, that you'll have an opportunity to also continue the conversations and the relationship building in our Arizona campus as well. We will select up to 10 companies for this portion of the program. So just a sampling of what you'll experience during the 10 weeks of the foundational program is in the early weeks, you're going to really establish an understanding of the US culture, business culture, how it may differ from Japanese culture, communication styles, and relationship building. And I think that gives you a very early push forward to entering the US market. In the middle of the program, the focus shifts to more operational execution. So market entry strategy, sales techniques, healthcare system, reimbursement, for example, is, I think, always a big topic that's covered that is hard even, I keep saying this, but it's hard even for an American to know how the US healthcare system works. And so we work really hard to help you understand it as well. And in the final weeks, it's all about getting ready for wrapping up your learnings, helping to craft your US market entry strategy, but also working with our team and the Kicker team on perfecting your pitch. Because when you visit us in Minnesota, you have an opportunity to do a live pitch in front of a great audience made up of Mayo Clinic and our ecosystem members. To really give them a highlight of what you've been able to learn and the opportunity to make an ask to the entire audience to consider next steps. If your next step's a pilot or a trial or whatever it may be, investment, you'll have an opportunity to make that request of the audience. So that's kind of our foundation program schedule. What we're looking for are earlier stage companies that have. I think we're looking for companies that have moved beyond what we call the idea stage here in the United States. So these are companies that have a minimal viable product, that they're ready to kind of move forward, and that's kind of what we're looking for here. We also need you to be available, obviously, and attend all of the sessions. I know, especially with early stage companies, you can be pulled in many directions, but we do ask that you are available for that 10-week period, because otherwise it's going to be very difficult to help you get to your final outcome of that U.S. market entry strategy pitch. So. It also helps, obviously, that you have, some English proficiency. I think it's super important, and it'll be important for the conversations that you have in the U.S. And then it is kind of a collaboration between Mayo Clinic Platform, Kicker Ventures, the Berg Innovation Exchange, and JETRO. I'm proud to say that the majority of the sessions are in Japanese for the 10 weeks. And of course, when you come to visit us, the majority of that will be in English. So I'm going to pause here for a second. If there are any questions, happy to answer them on the 10-week program.
Thank you, Jamie. We've got some questions regarding BD, Business Development Program, so far.
Okay. Well, I could definitely jump into that. I just wanted to make sure if anybody has questions about the foundational program that we ask them at this time, but happy to jump into the BD as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's just jump into the BD then.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
So the business development program gives you 32 weeks of support, which is a lot of time, which we're really excited about. and it gives you 100 Mayo Clinic Advisory Network credits. And I will explain what that is in just a second. And then up to 2 weeks of activities here in the United States. So I think it's a great opportunity for, again, more later stage companies that are ready to, take those next steps, tomorrow to come to the U.S. The program will stumbling over myself. The program will run from July 2026 until about March 2027, which I think is roughly 32 weeks. And you'll really be focused more on execution. So, you'll have your kind of market strategy ready to go, and through more one-on-one work with our experts at Mayo Clinic and the experts at JETRO and the experts at Kicker Ventures will help you take your next steps, really understand what you really need to do to take your next steps in the US, and then give you access to expertise at Mayo Clinic as well as outside of Mayo Clinic to help you really take those concrete steps and move forward. The really exciting thing about what we've been able to do in addition to this work is to give you access to another program here at Mayo Clinic called Mayo Clinic Platform Solution Studio. So for companies that have a solution already ready to go and are kind of believe they're ready for the US market very, very quickly, we can give you the opportunity to go through our qualification for our Solution Studio. That is included in this program. It will give you feedback on your solution from our qualification experts at Mayo Clinic. And then if, all of the boxes are checked for the qualification, there's an opportunity then to be offered as part of our Solution Studio program to our network of 67 healthcare providers around the world who might be interested in purchasing your solution. So, but that will only, I just want to kind of level set, there's a lot you have to do to go through that qualification. If you have to be regulated in the United States, we would want you to wait for that regulatory approval before we could offer that solution. But I think even the ability to go through qualification will help you understand the next steps that you're going to need to be successful in the United States. We also have something we've had a lot of success in with our companies who go through our accelerator program is we will have you shoot a promotional video. And this goes a long way, many, many times to help explain, your company, what you're working on. And I don't have a link. I can provide the link maybe a little bit later, but I can give you the link to our YouTube page where you can see some of those videos and get an idea of the high quality videos that we're able to produce to promote your business. We will give you time to visit us here in the US. Some of that will be in our various Mayo campuses, and we're kind of working to plan maybe some other areas where you could join us in the United States to continue to further the relationship building and exposure of your companies to stakeholders in the United States. Because this is very intensive and it's very concierge based, we can only take 5 companies at this point who will be qualified for this particular program. This is just a kind of an overview of what to expect in that program. So for the first few weeks, it'll be more onboarding and us really getting to know how we can help you. So really understanding your business, understanding your goals and where you want to go with in the United States, and trying to work with you to craft a plan that will allow you to be able to take those steps. So that's kind of the beginning. And then the next few weeks will be more market engagement and positioning. So really refine that plan. It will begin some introductions to different partners and mentors in the ecosystem. And then in week 13, that's where you get access to our advisor network. So this is a technology that we've adopted, which will allow you to look through a menu of different advisors that are available inside of Mayo and outside of Mayo. And you can utilize those credits that we were talking about earlier to be able to access these experts. So it's a very powerful new technology that we've launched just in the last couple of months. And so far, it's been, I think, really, really, really successful with companies who are able to quickly, have someone jump on and answer a question. We're not very good at we're good at regulatory at Mayo Clinic, but we're not allowed to do advising on regulatory at Mayo Clinic. But through our advisor network, we have an amazing group of advisors who are able to do that advisory service outside of Mayo Clinic, but still be part of our network. So it's a very, I think, exciting way to begin to solve those problems that are laid out in that strategy document that will be created in the early weeks. And then in the later weeks, it'll be more on, how are you overcoming the big asks that you had in your strategy document? So are you exploring pilot opportunities, partnerships, deployment pathways? Will help you kind of continue to build momentum to achieve those goals as well. And then at the end of the program, it's about what's next. So how can Mayo Clinic, how can Kicker, how can JETRO help you take your next steps? Hopefully in those 30-ish weeks, you're able to do a lot with access to our experts and advisors, as well as our solution studio, if that makes sense. But how can we continue to help you be successful as you move to the US? That's really what it focuses on. And then the timing of this coincides very well with one of our virtual showcases for our accelerator cohort. So we want to invite all the participants of the business development program to be kind of special guests and be able to pitch their solutions during our virtual showcase. Our virtual showcase will reach all 60 of our health system partners, as well as a lot of people inside of Mayo Clinic, as well as investors. So we think it's a really compelling way to shine a spotlight on the good work that you're doing. I won't go, I want to leave a lot of time for questions, but just to kind of go a little bit deeper on what our advisor network is. Again, you get 100 credits as part of the BD program. Each credit is basically a monetary unit that we actually pay the advisors to talk to you, which is very different than a lot of mentorship-based programs. That's basically because of a rule we have at Mayo Clinic that if you pull a doctor, away from patients, you have to compensate them for their time. So we've kind of designed that program with that in mind. Each advisor on our network gets to set the number of credits that 1 hour equals. And so we leave it up to our advisors to determine how many credits they're kind of worth per hour. But what you see here on the right is a table of the most likely spend on credits. So if you want to talk to someone who's an FDA regulatory consultant, all of our regulatory consultants are 1 hour, 1 credit. Same with reimbursement. Sometimes, although we haven't seen it yet, clinical trial design experts will be 2 credits per hour. I think most of them that are there right now are at 1. If you start talking with clinicians, that's where that number of credits can go up. So it seems like most of the clinicians we're talking to will set their boundaries between 2 and 4 credits per hour. So this will be something we help you with at the beginning as we're kind of crafting that strategy as you're in the program. We'll help you understand that, hey, if you only want to talk to a bunch of clinicians, that 100 credits might disappear pretty fast. So we want to make sure that you're spending these credits wisely so that you can accomplish everything that you want to during this program. Solution Studio, I think I've covered most of that already. I think the important thing is to understand that we have this qualification process. We will have you walk through a version of that qualification process, provided you have a product that's perhaps working really well in Japan. We'll be able to walk through that qualification process with you and give you a glimpse into what you're going to need to do to enter the U.S. market. If we find a company that already has something in the U.S. and is kind of more advanced in the U.S., if they qualify for the program, then again, there could be the potential that they do check all the boxes and that they could be made available to our provider partners around the world. So here, I think I've said it like 100 times, so I apologize. But we are really looking for companies that have some traction in Japan, that are moving quickly, that are a little more advanced than just a pure early stage startup, and that have the capabilities, that could be funding, that could be staff, to be able to begin that movement to the US. And this is going to be a very intensive program. So we think there's going to be a lot of time that you're spending meeting with advisors, meeting with experts, traveling to the United States. So you've got to make sure you have the time to do that, and perhaps even a team that focuses on that. And obviously, building on that, the capacity to leverage all of these strategic advisor network credits, so that, again, we will help you work on. And this will be a collaborative selection between Mayo Clinic Platform, Kicker Ventures, the Berg Innovation Exchange, and JETRO. So kind of the next step for both programs is, I think, easy, and hopefully some of you have already applied, but applications are open now. And so how it will work is essentially, once an application comes in, it will be reviewed by all 4 members of our partnership. We will kind of have a rubric that we've designed that helps assess your companies. And then we will basically do a series of interviews, discussions, to see if there's fit. And then once we do that, then I apologize up front. You'll have to do a little bit of contracting with us here at Mayo Clinic, just to make sure. It's pretty simple, but it does take a little bit of time. And then hopefully we're all aligned and ready to have you kick off with us in mid-July. So that is the hope, and we're looking forward to finding a number of great companies that are really serious and really excited about coming to the United States, and really honored that we have this opportunity to work with all of you. So I think that's where I'll leave it. My email is here if you have any questions, and I'm happy to take questions. I know I've said a lot, so I want to give our partners at Kicker Ventures a chance to say anything that I've missed. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. We've got some questions in Q&A box, and I'd like to ask you in English. The first one is we are developing our business based on products and technologies that do not utilize AI. Would we still be eligible for this BD program? I thought we are not only focusing on AI, but what do you think about this, Jamie?
Yeah, I think we've had this conversation amongst the team, and I think we are supportive of that. I think it just kind of depends on what that product or service is. I think we have to evaluate that, but I think we are casting our net a little bit wider this time if we find the right company. So I think it always helps, I'll be honest, with my team, if there is some digital component or AI component. So we see a lot of device companies, for example, that have digital components. That's always helpful. But yeah, we are definitely going to look at any applicant to see if there's fit and synergy because really this program is very special because it gives you the opportunity to focus on entering the US market, and I think we shouldn't limit that just to purely digital solutions.
Yeah, thank you. I think we've got some questions regarding milestones and the credit, and I suppose this question might be for Kiyomine-san and Kika Ventures, like regarding mentoring and how to manage the milestone and credit. Could you please explain a little bit more, like a detail, how to use credit and the mentoring session? Oh, you are muting.
Is Japanese better or English better?
I suppose Japanese better, I think.
Okay. Now, since now Jamie understands Japanese. そうですね。ありがとうございます、質問。BD プログラムなんですけども、いくつか質問があるので、ちょっとまとめて答えようとするかなと思いますが、本当にマイルストーンは、会社のニーズに合ったものになります。で、なので、プログラム初期にちょっと時間をとって、その会社が達成したいことっていうのと、あと、アメリカで、BD 経験だったりビジネスを作っていった経験がある人が、その状況を照らし合わせて、現実的には何をマイルストーンにするべきかっていうようなところっていうのも踏まえた、アセスメントプラス実際のゴール設定っていうのをやっていく作業に、時間を当てるっていうふうに考えています。で、これに関しては、やっぱり過去のプログラムを通じて、プログラムを始めた当初に思い描いてた、今自分の会社がアメリカ進出をするっていうことに関しての、ステージはこういうもので、こういうことを向こう数ヶ月で達成していきたいっていうのと、やっぱり現実的に見て、今何をしなくちゃいけないかっていうのと、何が達成できるのかっていうのを、乖離があるところがあるので、そこは専門家の BD パートナーの人と一緒に進めていくっていうような感じです。で、クレジットの利用状況は、そうですね、これは名誉側と帰化側で、管理していくっていう形になるのかなというふうに思います。
ありがとうございます。そうですね。そのクレジットとかっていうのは、メンターの方と一緒に相談して、どういう相談を名誉クリニック側にさせてもらうかっていうところで数決まってきますので、そのあたりはきちんと管理はされますので、ご自身で全て管理いただく必要はないので、そのあたりはご安心いただければと思います。ゆみねさん、ありがとうございます。Okay, and we have some more questions regarding the BD program. And this question might be for maybe Jamie. First of all, まずはじめになんですけど、こちらの先ほどまた別途質問もいただいてたんですが、こちらのプログラムはデータ活用というのはプログラムの中には含まれないコースになっておりますので、そちらの点は事前情報として改めてお伝えしておきます。I just mentioned that this course is not included for data utilized by Mayo Clinic. And the question is, we are currently receiving support from JETRO to conduct R&D and prepare for commercialization of an AI-based medical device, SAMDC technology. And while the technology is still at an early stage, and we are planning to establish the company within this fiscal year, and we are currently in discussion with Mayo Clinic regarding the availability of data that will be relevant to our project. Yeah. なのでこちらはデータは含まれないっていうところを前提になんですけれども、we had initially thought that the business development course would be the most suitable option when it comes to actually utilize the data. Would we still be eligible to apply even before the company is formally established? or would the foundational course be a better fit for our current stage? I suppose.
Yeah, I think, from I never say yes or no, so it kind of depends. But I think, we are looking for, companies that are established. I think that would be a better, fit because you'd be ready to come to the US. But it just depends, I'm assuming because a company's not formed already, you don't have any traction in the Japanese market yet. So there, just not knowing enough, I think that the foundational course would be kind of a better approach. But I don't know, Musashi, if you have other thoughts on that.
I think we have had primary care companies that are targeting primary care. So I think it is okay, but really depends on how far along you are. If you already have a product that's ready to go in the US, then by all means apply to BD program. But for solutions or areas targeting primary care, that's an area that's very different there's a huge difference between US and Japan in terms of how the system works. So it might be better to start with foundation and learn, and then build a relationship with Mayo if interested. And then, we've had companies in the past where they did essentially the equivalent of foundation course, and then did not move on to the Mayo JETRO J-StarX program, but ended up working with Mayo. So that might be, it is I think you can think of it as a way to, create easy way or fast way to create relationship with Mayo Clinic.
Thank you, Kiyomine-san and Jamie. Yeah, I think Kiyomine-san already covered the additional question regarding the primary care sectors. So yeah, thank you. And we've got one more question, and may I ask if program for access and utilization of Mayo network database will be introduced as a different opportunity this year? And I am going to answer this question. And as JETRO, we do not have any plans to make some program support to access and utilization of Mayo Clinic database. But we are currently, I'll explain this in Japanese. すいません、ちょっとデータ活用に関して様々ご質問をいただいているんですけれども、今年度、名誉クリニックのデータアクセスのプログラムというものは実施しないんですが、一方で、本日10時からまた別途説明会を実施いたします。米国のヘルスケアのデータ活用プログラムというものがまた別途実施予定で、今まさに募集を開始しているところで、こちらも6月1日までなんですけれども、ちょっと皆様に後ほどリンクをお送りするんですが、もしそのヘルスケア文脈でデータ活用をご希望の方は、ちょっとそちらのプログラムの詳細ご確認いただければと思います。この後ちょっと10時から説明会も実施しますので、ご関心ある方はそちらもぜひご参加いただければと思いますが、名誉さんとのそのプログラム活用プログラムというものは今年度は実施の予定はございません。ご質問ありがとうございます。その他何かご質問だったりとか、ご不明点ある方いらっしゃいますか？何かあれば Q&A に入れていただければと思いますし、何か今後いろいろ募集要項とかご確認いただく中で追加でご質問などがあれば、お問い合わせご連絡いただければと思いますが、いかがでしょうか？大丈夫そうですか？ありがとうございます。ちょっとお時間も迫ってきておりますので、このあたりで終了とさせていただければと思います。皆さん本日はお忙しい中、朝早くから本当にお集まりいただきましてありがとうございました。 こちらのプログラムが6月1日の13時、1時、日本時間1時が締め切りになっておりますので、ご関心ある方はぜひご応募いただければと思います。清峰さんもジェイミーもありがとうございました。Thank you very much for joining this session, Jamie and 清峰さん today.
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。すみません。今、チャットで皆様にお送りしたのが、別途データをご活用いただけるプログラムになっておりますので、こちらもご確認いただければと思います。それではちょっと時間になりましたので、本日のウェビナー、セミナーはこちらで終了とさせていただきます。本日はありがとうございました。Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.